Well, this morning, just making my way to the Brookhouse area of Denbigh, North Wales, and it's the day after Storm Ciaran. Just to see what the river levels are like, and hopefully they haven't been flooded. It's not too bad. When I was here last, after Storm Babet, or Babet, it was a lot higher. It's an area where the salmon jumps are, and it was flooded. The actual river, the Afon Ystrad, it broke its banks, and it was all flooded to the subway here. The actual main flood is just the other side of Brookhouse Mill, but hopefully it doesn't look like the river levels were as high as when I was here last. It was only a few weeks ago, that after Storm Babet. So let's see what it's like this morning. Yeah, it's definitely not as high as after Storm Babet. But the thing is though, it builds up, doesn't it? It's not always the day of the storm or the day after, this is the day after. It builds up over several days. That's the trouble. It's already soaking after Storm Babet, and then the water all runs down, doesn't it? Then the river builds up, then it's always like a few days after. But we'll see what the salmon jumps are like. Yeah, this is the pottery, and it doesn't look like it's broke its banks yet, because when I was here after Storm Babet, all here it was all mud and sand where the river has flowed and bust its banks. The salmon jumps look pretty high, but no flood as yet. Salmon jumps are just there. So that's the where it part of the bank had washed away. That was Storm Babet, but the river level is nowhere near as high as, well, as I say, yet. It may build up after a few days. That's the thing. But there's the salmon jumps, as we call them. And here, this area, after Storm Babet, all here, you couldn't get through it. You couldn't even walk through with wellies. It was, I reckon, it was about 2 foot deep, something like that. All here was all flooded. But hopefully the river level won't get any higher. Because the trouble is, ground's saturated after the previous storm. That's the trouble. So hopefully it won't get any higher. So you can see it comes over here, across there, and went straight down there. All that road. I've done a video if you want to look at it. Brookhouse, Storm Babet, Brookhouse. But you can see the damage that it's done to the bank here. Just washed the rocks away, literally. See the rocks there. So hopefully the river won't get any higher. That's the trouble. It's not always on the day of the storm. It's not always the day after. It's a few days after all the water all makes its way from the surrounding area into the river. So as yet, I don't think there's any sign of a flood, but hopefully in the next few days the river will start to drop. So that's it, just thought I'd show you that. This is the Brookhouse area of Denbigh town in North Wales, the day after Storm Ciaran.